Hello and welcome everyone to day 4 of the ITS TechFest 2020. My name is Mihaela Popescu. I'm a professor of media studies in the Department of Communication Studies. I am also the faculty associate with Academic Technologies and Innovation and the faculty director of the Extended Reality for Learning Lab, XREAL in short, a lab which I co-founded with Professor Kurt Collins from Art Design. In the next 7 minutes or so, it is my honor to introduce the work of our lab. Before I do that, I would like to gratefully acknowledge the support that the lab has received over time from President Morales, Provost McMahon, VP Sudhakar, and the student body via Betty grants. I also thank Academic Technologies and Innovation and its leaders, Dr. Brad Owen and James Trotter, for providing a welcoming home for the lab and for staff and infrastructure support. Most importantly, I would like to thank all the faculty who have graciously partnered with us and volunteered so much time, creativity, and expertise. You will meet some of them in our live panel at 10:20 a.m. And also thank the undergraduate and graduate students whose incredible work constitutes the core of our lab. The XREAL lab was created around what Eric Gordon at MIT calls meaningful inefficiency. A meaningful inefficiency is a form of deliberate design that doesn't focus on efficiency as its primary goal, as IT typically does everywhere, but on advancing institutional logics that primarily support other meaningful values. In our case, consistent with our public education mission, these values are student success through project-based learning and embodied learning experiences, the production of interdisciplinary knowledge through research and design practice, the creation of and nurturing of trust in education technology innovation for public good, and new forms of civic involvement, community partnership, and public service. Let me explain how the organization of the lab supports these values. As the name implies, the lab creates learning experiences with extended reality. Now, extended reality is an umbrella term for a range of technologies such as virtual reality, augmented reality, think Pokemon Go, 360-degree video recordings, and so on. And you will see some of these technologies demonstrated shortly. What is interesting about these technologies is that they produce a sense of presence and embodiment and immersion that really redefines how students learn. At their best, with these technologies, we transport students in different realities where they can visualize new things, for example, archaeological artifacts, or perform activities virtually, for example, mix liquids and observe the resulting chemical reaction, as if these students were on an actual archaeological dig or in an actual chemical lab, chemistry lab. Well, if you think that this sounds a little bit like Ready Player One for education, you are not wrong. But unlike Ready Player One, we designed these experiences that were around very worthy learning goals. We want our students to explore reality in a totally different way. And we want them to learn about environments they cannot otherwise access, and we want them to experiment with new actions and roles safely and responsibly. I should also tell you that the lab is unique in the CSU system because of its organization. And here I come around to the idea of meaningful inefficiency. First, we focused on producing these experiences from the ground up instead of curating them from third-party vendors. Yes, we don't produce them very quickly, but we do that because we believe in open resources for education, and we want our faculty to have complete control over instructional content untethered from particular commercial interests. Second, we employ students to produce everything with faculty and staff as mentors. Our students learn to program virtual reality. They make artistic choices. They consider the issues of sound design and worry about instructional quality and so on. That's because we believe that students learn best when they work in interdisciplinary teams and when they partner widely across disciplines and roles and cultures. We want them to learn continuously from a variety of mentors and from each other. We want to be entrepreneurial because we want to establish a robust pipeline to industry for our students. After all, they work at the forefront of education innovation, be it pedagogical or technological, so they really develop marketable skills. Last but not least, we meld instruction with research. We explore, we innovate, we create not only new learning experiences, but also new knowledge about how people learn, as well as novel learning technologies that are really not available on the education technology market right now. Starting this year, and this is important, we also want to formally support and encourage graduate student research in the extended reality space. We will offer 5 annual scholarships to graduate students working on thesis and projects in this area. So please keep an eye out for announcements in a few weeks. As you will see now, the projects we work on span a wide range of pedagogical problems. Most importantly, the process of bringing these projects to life creates intellectual communities in the best sense, as I hope to demonstrate in what follows. We really want to work with you. We want to learn from you. We want to pursue grants together. And thanks to President Morales, we can support a small number of faculty fellows with the labs. So if you have a project idea or are simply curious to find out more, please do not hesitate to contact us or email me directly at popescum@csusb.edu. And now it is my great honor to introduce a few projects done in our lab. And so I pass on the baton to Duncan Smith, our VR lead programmer. Take it away, Duncan. Thank you.
All righty. So I'm going to just share my screen so I can have my presentation up. Give me just a moment. All right. So hi there, everybody. Before I get started, I'm just going to let you know a little bit about me. My name is Duncan Smith, and I'm an information technology consultant with Academic Technologies and Innovation working in the XReal Lab. My background is in computer science with a focus in game design, which I have a degree in from UC Santa Cruz. I work as the lead developer for all of the XR projects here, and I'm excited to share a few of those with you today. So, can't use my keyboard controls for this. That's okay, I'll click. This is going to be relatively short as far as the presentation goes. I have timed it. So let's open up with our legacy project, Ambrosia. So if you've been to a few of these kind of TechFest things over the years, you may have seen Ambrosia before, as it was the first VR project taken on by the lab. As a first project, it was great for learning the do's and don'ts of VR content creation, and as such, it was redesigned from the ground up to really meet its desired outcomes. Ambrosia is, as it was before, a VR archaeological simulation, where first-year archaeology students do hands-on reinforcement learning of basic archaeological principles in a VR environment. The big changes from version 1 to the new Ambrosia 2.0 is that now the simulation is multiplayer, where groups of students enter the same world and collaborate to find and identify artifacts, as well as the move to Unreal Engine 4, a premier professional game engine. We're excited to see where this project goes, and we hope to show you more about it next year. Then, up next, we have the nursing simulation. So the nursing simulation is a more recent project, and it was designed to serve a particular need, where there is a gap between in-classroom instruction and patient discharge and actually interacting with patients in a hospital setting. Classroom instruction about patient discharge, I should say. Currently, the gap is bridged somewhat through dummies or actors trying to give a more realistic experience before the student ever enters a hospital. Normally, the thing that ends up happening is that the student ends up getting nervous, choked up, something like that, when actually interacting with a patient for the first time. The dummies and actors are supposed to sort of be that bridge. But it's not necessarily as effective as they want it to be. So the nursing sim is designed to be the next evolution of that concept, using language processing to simulate accurate nurse-patient interactions in a VR space. The student takes on the role of a student nurse, interacting with an AI patient using language processing to simulate language processing and language understanding and machine learning to simulate actual, like, realistic, naturalistic speech. This combined with the VR environment gives the student a place to practice before taking on a real patient room. We're currently working on machine learning systems, and we hope you'll see more of this project in the near future. And then next, the most recent project we've been working on is the VR template. While building projects over the years, we realized that VR content creation could be streamlined in lots of ways. Every time we ran across something and said, wow, that made us say, wow, I wish I didn't have to keep making this over and over and over again. We jotted it down, created our VR template, using those as a sort of like guideline. It's an easy framework for getting basic extensible VR up and running in minutes. With it, we're able to go from a blank scene, which you can see as the sort of first image on there, to basic VR functionality and a variety of different small tools with no hassle, just drag and drop in a couple of minutes. From there, we can focus all of our effort on the creative vision of the project without getting bogged down in the basics. We made sure to include everything we need to make a variety of VR experiences, as well as making it modular and extensible, which is to say that you can take out and add pieces with reckless abandon, making it the perfect jumping off point for creating labs or whatever else we want to make. With that sort of concludes my little look into the current projects the X-Ray Lab has going on. I'll be available as a part of the Q&A after the presentations, where you can ask questions and get more specifics about these things. Also, you can email me directly at duncan.smith@csusb.edu. And thank you for listening to this. I hope you have a wonderful day.